Okay, I think we're ready to go to the Gnarls. We're going to do that by using our WASD keys.
I'm afraid the Gnarls are no longer an ideal place for paladins.
I'm not really very versed at using my WASD key, as you can see. A little too far off on the zoom. Zoom back in a little bit like that. That's kind of how I like it. There's my taxi driver. You look up here on my mission. Take a taxi to the Gnarls. It's also on my mini map. If I look at my main map, I see it there also. Oh, hey, about the main map. I'm going to turn on all these filters right here also. That way I can see everything that's around me. You saw where this vendor right here popped up. Press M for map. Or I can come over here and press that little icon. I'm going to right click the taxi attendant.
Reminder, mechanized travel is for
These are the different taxi points that I can go to. As you can see, as a beginning player with no money, I can't afford to drive to these two, but I can go to the spot. So I'm going to left click this.
Safe out there.
I'm using my left mouse key to kind of get that angle right there. And we're coming over to the Gnarls training ground. Okay, so I completed that mission. You can see where that is right there. And my mission updated. Defeat flesh raiders. So I want to defeat 10 of those using WASD. Okay, now just for us to get a feel of how this all works, I'm going to come out here. Okay, I don't think I'm going to need it, but I'm going to go back to my inventory. This is a basic med pack right here. So if I get too low on health, I'm going to click this guy, and that will give me more health to carry the way through the day. There's my flesh raider. Now, here's my attack that opened up. When I target him, that tells me I can use force sleep. You look over here at the tooltip when I hover over the item, and it says I can jump meters as my attack. But you look over here and you can see he's at 27.84 meters, so he's just within range. Now once I leap at him, I'm going to start doing this attack right here. Okay, so I took him out pretty easily. Okay, we'll get this guy. Okay, so I'm building focus right here. You can see that. Now I can use this attack, slash. It's a higher damage attack, but it costs 3 focus. If you look over here in the tooltip, you can see where the focus cost was 3. It took off 3 bars when I did it. This focus is all about limiting somebody and making the game a little bit more complex, so you can't just spam everything. I'm gonna come back here just so I don't get attacked. So since I'm not using focus, you can see where it's slowly dissipating. Each class, the knight, counselor, smuggler, and the trooper, they all have different type mechanisms that limit you from just being able to spam your attacks. So for me, it's all about being a martial artist melee type class that does easy attacks to build up my focus and concentration, and then once I get my concentration built up, then I can do a more complex, higher damage attack, kind of like a weapon kata in martial arts. Another thing you can see right here is that this is my experience bar. So when you look in the tooltip, as I hover over the experience bar, I've now got 318 points. Next level is 805 points. Okay, we're going to use WASD, and we're going to come over. Yeah, we're going to come over here. There's a nice little spot over here. Oh, the space bar allows you to jump up and down. Okay, now this is a nice little spot to work on your movement, because movement is not important and very important. Just to play the game, it's not important. You can do what I did, WASD out to your target and just whack away at them. With the harder content, movement becomes more important. With PvP, it's extremely important. Good movement is extremely important. So this little area right here is kind of out of the way. It's got some, it's clear, but yet there's some obstructions there. It's a nice little spot to just work on your movement if you want to work on your movement. Okay, so there's W, WA, WD, WA. I'm going to back up a little bit. Yeah, go all the way to the wall. I'm going to back up and turn around, go forwards. This is all WASD stuff right here. Okay, now there's two other keys that help, and they are the Q and E key on each side of the W key. Those are strafe keys. So I'm going to do Q and E. So what it does is that my mouse view maintains the same look. I'm facing the same direction, but I'm going right or left without having to do this and then go back like that. So go ahead and play with that right there. Now you can do that and the W key, and you can see where the movement's a lot better. Like I said, I'm not an expert on this, because the next way of moving, next level up, is to hold down on your W key and then hold down on your mouse button, hold down on your right mouse button. That allows us to move like that. Now I've got a higher degree of movement right there. I can thread that needle right there. Well, maybe I can't. I can thread that needle and move around by using my mouse right button right there. If I come back, whoops, that was the strafe key. If I come back, yeah, I still got that same degree of movement. If I do strafe, now I can start doing things like this right here. So basically I'm strafing. I'm going to strafe with the Q key, but with my mouse right button held down, I can do a lot more movement control. Okay, the next level up is to hold down your right mouse button, and as soon as you push down on your left mouse button, you're moving. So now movement becomes a one-handed operation, but the problem with that is that you soak up your mouse right there. So if I want to click on something, I've got to stop and then come over here and click on it. Then I start back up with my two mouse buttons down. Movement control, excellent. Being able to click on the Quickbar really is the downfall of using the two mouse buttons. That's why you've got these buttons key bound right here. So I can now, let's say here's my Force Might. I can now cast Force Might while I'm using my mouse to move, both the right and left mouse button, by pushing down on the O key, the zero key. There, you saw where I just turned on my Force Might. There's the cooldown text that we just set in our preferences, and that's where the real powerful players go. They'll use either all mouse button, both fingers, and full key binds, or they'll use the W key, the right mouse button, and then they'll key bind keys around their W key, or they'll re-key bind that W key to someplace else where they like it. Now for myself, I am kind of unique in my situation. I'm just going to tell you this as putting it in your head. You probably won't fall into this category, but I'm right-handed, but I was getting carpal tunnel in my right hand, so I started using my mouse on my left hand years ago to help develop the dexterity of my left hand and to give my right hand a rest with the carpal tunnel. That worked. My right hand healed itself. So I am very good at using my mouse with my left hand. With my right hand, I've got all my abilities key-bound over on the far right side of the keyboard in the keypad, and then the next set of keys over, which are the arrow keys and the insert, home, page up, page down keys, and even over to the right side of the actual keyboard, like the backspace, the slashes, you know, that kind of stuff like that. Just something to consider, but it takes a lot of practice, self-practice, to get your movement down. Now I'm going to use my mouse for my movement. I use a ambidextrous mouse that has a button on the right side and a button on the left side. The button on the left side I have key bound to also allow me to jump. Let's key bind that one right there because I'm going to be clicking that constantly. So I want to go to key bindings, and it's about movement. There's jump. Okay, I'm not going to use keypad 0 to do it. I'm going to click my left side mouse button, which is mouse button 5. I'm going to apply that. Okay, and now when I click that mouse button, I'm able to go up and down. We'll move out here, and we're going to talk more about our abilities. This is kind of a nice little spot right here that has a great view.